So I'm recording now, and we'll go ahead and get right to it. I'm going to share my screen. And you should be able to see Blackboard, or my Blackboard anyway. And so we're reading chapter 4, mathematical functions, characters, and strings. So I'm going to go over these real quick. Check SSN. Oh, excuse me. So you're going to, the person will put in an 11-digit social security number, like 333-44-5678, okay? And your job is to tell if it's a valid social security number. Now, so the first thing you need to check is that it's got the right amount. There should be 11 characters, right? 9 digits and a 2 dashes in the social security number. Okay, so some other things you need to know. When we look at the social security number, oh geez, I don't know, I need some coffee. It starts out at 0, so the first 3 digits are going to be 0, 1, and 2. Then the dash will be number 3. 4 and 5, let's see, 4 and 5 will be the next 2 numbers. 6 will be the next dash, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10 will be the last 4 numbers when we look at it. You also need to determine that all the digits in it, you're going to have to check them one by one, that they in fact are digits. No social security numbers have letters in them. So you have to check all that the 9 digits are in fact digits, okay? So that's that one. And you'll see today, I'm going to go over a few of those things here pretty quick as far as what tools you can use. The next one is a 3-city sort, and I'm going to go over here to explain this one. All right. So let's do this here. All right. So when we designed, back when we first started with computing, we realized right away that we couldn't use the decimal system. Computers don't do that well. I mean, you have to understand, a bit is either, is the circuit open or is the circuit closed? So that means it's binary, okay? So if the circuit is closed, it's a 0. If the circuit's open, it's a 1. So that's what computers can do. They just can do it really fast to a lot of different circuits in a transistor, for example. So basically, the decimal system was useless. So we switched to the binary system, okay? So the only digits that we can use are 0 and 1. So after some time in that, somebody says, well, we need a way to represent letters. Okay. So they found that this, okay, I'm going to show you what it is. It's 1. Okay, so 1, that's 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. Okay. So that number there in base 2 is 100001. Okay. And it's equal to, in base 10, 65. because this is my ones column, then my twos column, then my fours, then my eights, then my 16s, 32s, and 64s. So I have 164 plus 1 is 65 in base 10. And it just so happens that we're going to make that number in base 1. And you can't call that, by the way, you can't call that 1,000,001. It's just 100,001. And it stands for, that is the letter A in uppercase. Okay. So the letter A in uppercase is 65. All right. So that means the letter B is 66. And so on. So if I wanted to, oops, let's put an A, B, A, B. Go on, you know, C would be 67, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And just so you know, a space, for example, is 32. And then the numbers are down in the 50s, the numerals, not the numbers, the numerals. And there's, you know, just like there's periods and whatever. So they said, okay, that's great for uppercase. All right. What about lowercase? Okay. Well, they said, well, there's how many letters in the alphabet? 26, right? So if I add 26 to that, that'd be 91. So did they make that 91 more? Okay, so did they make this 91? Nope, they didn't. What they did is they said, again, thinking back with binary, if a large letter A is 1000001, well, you know what? If we turn on another bit, the 32 bit, we'll make it 11000001. In base 2, is equal to 97, base 10. And that's equal to a small letter A. So small letter A is 97. Small letter B is 98. Oops. Et cetera, et cetera. So there's some numbers in between 91 and 97 that represent different punctuation. Okay. But you can see here, if you compare, because Java is case sensitive, if you sort, okay, and you're sorting ascending from small to large, capital letters, all the capital letters will be in front of anything with a small letter. So in other words, if this would be the correct sorting of, let's say, Steve, Zach, Adam. Why? Because these number here, the capital letter S is lower than the number for a capital Z, and A is bigger than all of them. Because I think Z is 91 and A is 97. Okay. So in Java, when you go to sort, if you put in, let's say when I go to check your stuff, I'm going to type in something like this. Boston and ATL. And if you don't put, compare them as all uppercase or all lowercase, the order you're going to get them when you sort. Okay, so this is before. And if you just sort them with disregarding the ASCII code, which I'm going to spell out here for you in a minute, you're going to get ATL, and then you're going to get Chicago, and then you'll get Boston. And that's wrong. So if I get yours and it's like that, automatically you lose a couple points because they're not sorted correctly. Okay. So these numbers here, okay, are called the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay. Or how we pronounce this is you'll see ASCII, and it's pronounced ASCII, like that. Okay. There's one other one, it's called EPSIDIC, and it's pretty close to this one, but the one that's used, if somebody said, like in Notepad, if you type something in Notepad or in any program where it says type it in plain text, this is plain text. It's based on ASCII. Okay. So to prevent this happening over here, because really I want it correct here. It should be sorted as Boston. Nope, I'm sorry. It should be Atlanta. ATL, Boston, Chicago. Okay. So if you're not getting that, you have something wrong. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing that. Or let's go back to the. And then this last one here, the financial application, we're going to do here in class. Okay. Tonight. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. All right. So looking at the book for this week, it's a bunch of different, it's a hodgepodge, a mix of stuff. It basically starts out with the math library or the math functions, and they're already built into your program. You don't have to import them. Okay. In fact, I've already showed you the power one, raising the exponents, Math.POW to do that. So you start out in the chapter, it's talking about if you know trigonometry, they have those. Exponents is the next one, and we've already looked at that. You can do square root, okay, if you don't know about that. Rounding, I'm going to show you the algorithm that I use for rounding when we program our program tonight. I never use the math.round, or very seldom, okay? But it also comes with minimum, maximum, so you can pick the minimum and maximum out of the random. I don't use that either. I showed you the one that I use. And then it goes into character data types. I just showed you ASCII, okay? And that's for the char, or can be used for char. Char is a single character. It doesn't have to be a letter. It can be a digit. It can be a punctuation, or it can be a letter. And they go over what ASCII is. All right. Then we talk a little bit about escape sequences. And these are like when you go to print line and maybe you want to put a tab in. And I think we might have done that. Or an extra line. You can say print print ln, and then inside the quotes, if you put a /n, you'll get a new line. Okay, an extra, it's like a line feed. You can also, what if you want to print a backslash? You can't put a backslash in between your double quotes. You have to put, if you want one backslash, you have to put backslash, because you have to escape it to be able to print it, or it thinks there's a special character. Same thing with double quotes. If I put double quotes in my print statement, it thinks that's what I want to print. Okay, what's in between it? So if I want to actually print a double quote, I have to put a backslash and then the double quotes. So it doesn't read that as a special character. Okay. And then it goes into how to test characters. And these are ones you'll need to do your social security number. It's on 130. And you can see, if you're looking at it, it talks about is uppercase. So you're going to pick off each number by doing, okay, so you can, let me find what I'm looking for here. Where's that at? We got to find where you can pull it from, where the number is. It's char at. Okay. So if you have a social security number, you start out with SSN, you get it from the user, and then you can do stuff if SSN dot char at 0 would be the first character. So, and then you can say dot is it a digit? Okay. And if it's true, then you can go on to the next one. Is it a digit? Et cetera, et cetera. And I'm looking for that. Okay, it's under the string type ones. Getting characters from a string. There it is. So if you go over a couple more pages, or it's on 132 up at the top, it says char at, okay, returns a character at a specific location. The length of a string, in other words, so if you'd put, the first thing you want to do is check for the length. So if you say SSN dot length is equal to 11, if it's 11 characters long, that'll be true. Okay. If it's not, there's no reason to go on and check any of them if they're digits or dashes, because they can't, it doesn't matter anyway, because it won't be a valid social security number. Concatenation is just the nerd name for putting strings together. And in Java, we just use a plus sign. And we've done a little bit of that in our print statements. When we do compare strings to each other, like if first name, let's say if my name is equal to, if there's another Doug, let's say, if man one's name is equal to man two's name, then they're, say, true, and if they're not, say false. You can't use an equal sign. Don't use an equal sign. We actually have you type man one.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're also cutting out for me.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah, I still can't hear you.
Yeah, they're gonna.
You're still muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's with this thing? Hang on, I'm gonna try again.
No, you just muted yourself now.
You sound really like far away.
Can you hear me now?
It's really quiet.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good.
This thing ICC gave me. Okay, so going back, so if you're going to compare strings, to compare them, you'd say like string name 1 dot equals, and then a parentheses, and then whatever you want to compare it to, like name 2. And if those two names are equal, you get a true. If they're not, they get a false. We don't use two equal signs to compare name 1 to name 2. Okay, so that's explained on page 135. And then it goes on to get how to get a substring and some other stuff. But that's pretty much the chapter. So it's dealing with all these little things you need to manipulate data, both numeric and non-numeric. And again, numeric literals aren't digits or numbers that are actually the numbers, if you're using them for math. If I'm not going to use them for math, then they're alphanumerical. Okay, like the letter A. It's not a number. Okay, so it's an alphanumeric literal. And then tonight we're going to have a bunch of constants, which are again reserved places in memory reserved places in memory that will not change during program execution. And then we'll have a bunch of variables. So those are named places in memory that can change during program execution. So you need to read over this carefully, okay? And then we'll also take a look at how to print so it looks good, okay? So that's what we're going to do tonight. And so we're going to start that. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen again. And again, if you start to not to be able to hear me, make sure you speak up, okay? And so let's go here. So you should be seeing NetBeans, I hope.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, I'm sharing there. I don't know why I'm not sharing or I'm not getting a meeting control here. I guess that's it. All right. All right. So we're going to come over here and say File, New Project, Ant, Java. And I'll call this the Acme Payroll Calculator. That's kind of a long name, but I used Payroll Calculator last night. So. All right. Once again, if your stuff opens like this and you actually want to see you can just expand this out, expand that out. There's my package. There's my file. There's the entire file name there with the Java on the end. All right. And so first thing I always do, is do my internal documentation. So we'll call this the Acme Payroll Calculator. And this is the Acme Payroll calculator.java. And today's date is the 16th of February, 2021. The author is you. And the purpose. Deductions and net pay. An employee given two inputs, total or hours worked and rate of pay. So there's two inputs. Then I'm going to go back over here to Blackboard and I'm going to copy all this right here just because it'll be fast for me. Come back over and I'm going to paste that right below this. Sounds like my dog is drowning himself. Jasper, stop. All right. So there's my documentation. And I can get rid of this. And I do need a scanner, so I'm going to import a Java scanner out of the utility library. And see if I can get it to not. Yep, no, it locks up again. It's pretty amazing. So it'll sit here for a minute, and there it goes, and then it pops that in instead of scanner. And I don't know why it does that on my computer. I mean, it's not like this is a slow computer at all. Okay, and then I'll fix that. I'll get rid of this. And then I want this down below. So it looks real pretty. And then I'll indent this. And that looks nice. Okay, tab. Put a little heading in here, a divider here. All right. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is create some, well, let me instantiate my scanner first. So I'm going to say scanner user con for user console is a new scanner that uses my keyboard. So the keyboard is my system.in device. All right, so that I can instantiate. So I've instantiated my scanner, got that done. Now I need a bunch of variables and at least one constant. I need more than one constant. I need several constants actually. The first constant I want is, I'm going to call it standard hours. That's going to be 40. Oops, I forgot that it's a, what data type is this? What's the difference between an int and a double?
There's no floating points.
Yeah, I don't have any floating points in the int. Okay, so I got that. Then I need final. This one will be a double, and that's the OT factor. It's going to be 1.5. And then I need double for the FICA. And it's, whoops, 0.0765. And then I need a final double for my state tax. And I think that's 0.02. And I need a final double for my federal tax. It's 0.18. Okay, so those are those. That looks pretty good. So all this stuff here, I'm just gonna, it's kind of my inputs. Okay, so then variables I need to get their hours. So what data type is hours gonna be? The hours worked.
Int.
So if you work 42 and a half hours, you're gonna give them free. You're not gonna charge your boss for the 30 minutes.
Should be double.
Should be double. You want to get paid for all the hours and minutes that you work, right? So we'll just call this hours worked. Okay. And then we have, how about, well, I gave it away, rate of pay, right? It's money. So it's going to have a decimal point, could have. Okay, so we got that. Then we need how many regular hours did you work? Ones that aren't at double time or time and a half. And then we'll need one for overtime hours, right? Then we'll need how much money you made for your regular hours. So that'll be reg pay. Then you need overtime pay. And then you would need how much pay you made totally. And that's called gross pay. All right. So would you guys have thought of all these variables that you're going to need?
No, not me.
Not at all.
No.
No.
So again, this is when we back in the day, okay, these are the old war stories, I'm sorry, but you had to take a whole class, a whole semester of logic and planning programs before we'd even let you use a computer. So you wrote everything out by hand. And flow charted everything you're going to do, we flow charted. And we don't do that anymore. We don't have the time to do that with you. But these are things you'd need to think of. If you were going to do this program, what do I need to calculate to print out a check stub? Okay. And this is a simplistic one, right? I don't have any contributions. I don't have health care in here. I don't have other donations, union dues, anything like that. This is just straight. Okay. And I also am giving you a flat rate for your taxes. So we're not dealing with dependents and having to look something up in a chart. Of course, your book has some of those in there where later on where you would input the chart, you'd have to design the chart and it would find what your tax rate is depending on how many dependents or whatever that you claimed. But here we're just going to flat rate you. All right, so now I've got those. So then I need to do my taxes. Okay, so now we're dealing with all these are money, right? So my FICA tax, I'll need one for that. I'll need one for my state tax. I'll need one for my federal tax. And then I'll need one for total deductions. We'll leave it like, don't matter. Okay. So then after that, I need one more, and that's my net pay. So right there, those are my inputs, okay? Or what I need to get. We're going to take data from the user and turn it into information. We're going to process it into information. So now again, I only need two inputs. I need to know how many hours were worked and what my pay rate is, okay? So I'm going to make a banner. So I'll make a nice one tonight, I think. I'm going to say system dot out print line. And we'll do something like this. And that ain't too bad. It's balanced pretty well. Then I'm just going to copy this one. Put it down here. I think I cut off the S. I did. Yeah, that looks okay. Again, I don't want my program just to start and say enter, enter a number. I wanted the user to know what this program does. And by putting a banner in, it kind of does that. And I need good prompts, right? So my prompt here is going to be system.out.print. And let's do this. I need another variable. I'm going to put it way up here at the top. It's going to be a string, and I'm just going to call it string name, like that. And we'll just put enter the employee's name, like that. And then we'll come back over here and we can use our user con to get name is equal to usercon.next. That's all we need. Next is if you're going to get a string from somebody. Okay. If I'm going to get a string, I do that. So now, once I have the string, I can do this. And I'm going to use a printf. And that means print, but formatted. And we're going to put enter. And then a percent sign with a small letter S, apostrophe S, total hours worked. And right here, after the double quotes, I'm going to put a comma and type name. Okay. So what happens there, this is a placeholder, this percent %S right here. So once I get the user's name, I'm going to personalize the prompt. So I type in Doug here. So then this will say, enter Doug's total hours worked. And this, whatever the name variable is from up above, fills in this placeholder right there.
Did you just do a string name? I missed that part because I was copying down the rest of your code
Yeah,
there.
I did it
Okay.
up here, right here.
Okay, thank you.
And once I have their hours, so now I have to do my enter. And then this one will be hours worked, I think is what I made it, right? Is equal to, or is assigned, user con. Now this one is a next double is what I want. I don't want a string, so I have to put next double. Whatever type of data type I'm trying to get goes right here. Okay. And then let's go ahead and see if that works. So I'm just going to come down here and just print it out. So just as a test. Again, you don't want to hurry. So what do I want to print out? I want to print name plus space there, and then the hours worked. Just to make sure, I don't want to get too far along and then have something not work, okay? So then I can hit the run. And there's my little thing there. And if I type in Doug, it says enter Doug's total hours worked. And maybe I worked 50. And it prints that out. So it's getting that data. Okay. So now I know that that works, and it's a nice prompt. It actually says whose hours worked. Once you do that, I don't need that anymore because I just checked. It was just checking. If you didn't, I'll put it back in for a minute here. So if you didn't get it. And you can always do this too. You could just do boom, boom. And now it's not going to run anymore. Okay. It's not going to run because it's remmed out. If I want to put it back in, I can just come here and click on that. If I want to take it out again, I click on that. Works fine. All right. Let's go back here. So now I need a prompt for again, percent sign S for a string. If it's an integer, it's a D. If it's an F, I'm going to, or if it's floating point, I'll show you that when we get to the floating point stuff. So it's apostrophe S, enter Doug's hourly pay rate. And that's pay rate, I think. Or is it rate of pay? What did I put in? Rate of pay. Oh, come on. Rate of pay. What I got here? Oh, duh. That ain't right. It's name again. Oh, gosh. Next one here is rate of pay. Is the variable name. And it's user con dot next double to get that. So now I have my two things that I need. Okay. I got it, or three things: the name, the hours worked, the total hours worked, and what is my rate of pay. So those are all taken care of. So my inputs are done. So no, I don't need any more inputs. So the next thing I need to do is process my data into information. Okay. First thing I need to know is how many regular hours did I work, or did the person work? So I'm going to say if hours worked is less than or equal to standard hours. Right? Isn't that what I used? Yep. Then what's going to happen is reg hours will be equal to hours worked. Oops, spelling error. So that's what'll happen to that. And my, just for OT hours, will be equal to 0. Okay. So in other words, let's say I work 20 hours, that's less than or equal to 40. So then my hours worked would be assigned to regular hours. I don't have any overtime involved. Then I have else. I don't need anything. I mean, if it isn't under 40, then it's got to be over 40. Come on, Doug, that doesn't go there. So now regular hours will be assigned the value of the hours worked. Oh no, it won't. It'll just be standard hours because it at least has to be 40, right? Then my overtime hours will be equal to hours worked minus standard hours, or my regular hours. It don't really matter, right? We can put regular hours here. Doesn't matter. They're both going to be 40 anyway. So that gives me my overtime. That should be right. But let's just print it out to make sure. So we're going to say system out dot print line, and then print regular hours plus the space and plus OT hours, and we'll see if it works. And I'm going to put in 50. Pay doesn't matter at this point. So you can see there I got 40 regular hours and 10 overtime. And now just to check, I'll check something under 40. And I'll put 20 in. And 20 and 0, that's right. So I no longer need this. I can get rid of it. Because now I check to make sure that I'm getting the regular hours and the overtime hours the way I want them. Okay. Any questions up to this point?
I don't have anything.
Well, that's at least one person's alive.
Could you scroll back up to the string name?
Sure. All right. 3 hours, blah, 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 blah. That looks pretty good. So now regular pay should be equal to reg hours times, what do I call it, rate of pay? Of pay. Okay. Now, here's the problem. We need to round that to 2 decimal places. Okay. Now, you could use the math round thing, or you can use an algorithm that I'm going to show you here. The reason we round, and you could print this out, and when you go to the print statement, we can format it with 2 decimal places, but that won't correct any parts of a penny that are hanging off the end. Okay, so if you were to do more math with it, it would still have those. So I'm going to get rid of any parts of a penny right away here. Because let's say I worked 43.125 hours this week. And then you multiply that by $30.15. You're going to have some decimal places out past the past the penny, right? So I'm going to take reg pay and make it equal to, okay? And I'm going to build this thing. I'm going to take my reg pay, and then I'm going to take it and add 0.005 to it. And I'm going to put that in parentheses. Then I am going to multiply that by 100. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a minute. Okay. I put that O on there just to. Okay. So now what I've done so far, let's just say, I'll just type it over here somewhere. Let's just say that when reg pay calculates out, it comes out to 100.3247. Okay, dollars. So now what I did is I take that and I add 0.05 to it, 0.005. So now that turns into that one turns into 100.3297, right? Is that right? 5, okay. Then what I'm going to do here, so that's that. Okay, so I did that. Now I'm going to multiply by 100. So that gives me 10032.97, right? Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to say int in front of that. Okay. So now that turns it into this 10032. And then I'm going to divide by 100. Now, one of these numbers, since this is an integer now, if I make this an integer, I'll never get any pennies. Because if you divide two integers, you get integer division. So this one has to be a 0.0 on the end. Okay. And let's see if I need a, hang on, I got int here. Divided by, I got something.
I think you're just missing this semicolon at the end.
Oh, duh. Thank you. Now I probably don't have enough of something. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I got my 2 here. And I got another one here. I don't think I need, do I need that one? See, this is what happens though. So I got this, then I do this, then I do this, and then I don't need this one, I don't think. Okay, what's going on? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Does the int need to be in its own parentheses or not?
Yeah, it might. Hang on. Let's try that. Get rid of this. There we go. All right. So then the last thing that happens here is we divide by, and we get this number here. So you can see, since this was a 4, it didn't round it up. But if it would have been a 5, when it comes over to here, this would have become 33, right? Because I added this 0.5 on. So that's the algorithm. Okay. And you can round to, if I wanted to round to the nearest 10th, I would take out one of these zeros, right? In each one of these, I would add 0.005. If I wanted to do thousands, I'd do 0.0005. These would be 1,000 and 1,000, whatever I want to. So this is the rounding algorithm. And let's in fact see if it works by doing this. I got that. And now I can run it. And how many hours? We'll just put in 50. Rate of pay, we'll put in 10.2545, let's say. And you can see that it comes out to 409.8, and that's just because there's no decimals after it. But it does round it. You don't get some big number there.
I'm currently having an issue with the if and else statement.
Okay. Did you put a semicolon at the end of your if statement here?
No.
Okay. I'm just thinking of things that would cause it not to work right.
Oh. I put one at the end of else.
Ah, don't do that. Now it should work.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So if we did that one, now we just need to do our OT pay. Should be equal to overtime hours times rate of pay times OT factor. Okay. And like we did above, overtime pay should be equal to int. And then OT pay plus 0.005 times 100.0 slash 100.0. Okay, Doug. Did it. I'm missing one. I see it. And so there's that one. So now if we run it, oops, I don't want to run it yet. I didn't print anything. I'm going to go ahead and check my overtime pay. So then if I do system.out.println OT pay. And I happen to know if I work 50 hours at $10 an hour, my overtime pay should be 150 bucks, right? Because that would be 10 hours at $10 an hour times overtime is 1.5. So I get 150. So let's see if it comes out to that. So if I do 50 hours, 10 bucks an hour, you can see I get my 150. So that's what I wanted. Okay. Three. It's kind of bothering me that I'm only getting one decimal place over there. But it shouldn't be. Let me see something here real quick. Percent 0.2F. Let's see what happens with that. If I work 50.237 hours and my pay rate is, oops, that's my name. Hang on. Let's go here again, put my name and put the hours I worked, 50.123. And hourly pay, let's say I get $10.97. And I get 166.57. So it is okay. All right, so there's my pay. So now my gross pay will just be, I don't have to round this because they've already been rounded. So I can just say reg pay plus OT pay. Okay. Then all my taxes will be based off of my gross pay. So my FICA tax will be equal to my gross pay times my FICA. Okay. And then if I do FICA tax here, and geez, do I want to do this for all these? Oh, I know what I can do. I can just do this. Maybe we'll come up with something else instead. So then we just have to put here, we just have to put FICA. Okay, now what happened there? Oh, 2 equal signs, yep. Okay. So then that's my FICA. And then I can do my state tax. And that. And then my federal tax. So there's all my taxes. And then I can do my total deductions will be equal to my FICA tax plus my state tax plus my federal tax. Okay. And then finally, we're going to calculate our net pay will be nothing more than our gross pay minus our total deductions. Okay. So again, seems like, a lot of, but that's what you do here. So that looks pretty good. So that was the processing. So now we can move down here and this will be the outputs or output. Okay. And I'm going to split this up, system.out, print line. And I'm just going to put a small line across after the inputs. Okay. And then we'll say system.out.print line. Oh, you know what I was going to put in there? I know what I was going to put in there. Make this a printf. And then right in here, let's do this. Percent S payroll stub. I think that looks okay. Maybe delete one of those. And then this will be name again. This could be a comma, or parenthesis S or whatever. There we go. So now it'll say Doug's payroll stub or whoever name it is. And then we're going to have a printf here. Okay, and we'll have total hours worked. And then we'll have percent 2.f /n. So that means I want a decimal here, a possible decimal, and the 2 decimal places. And then I want a carriage return after that. And what am I going to fill that placeholder with? I'm going to put in hours worked. Okay. Let's just see what that looks like. Check it, kinda. Make sure nothing crashes. So I type in Doug here, and I'm going to work 50 hours at $10 an hour, and it crashes. Okay, main format conversion exception conversion 2. Okay. So oops, it should have been 0.2, and I got 2 point. Hello. Let's backspace that and put a 2 there. See, again, little things like that. All right, so now Doug, 50, 10. There we go. Okay, so I forgot a /n on the top of my payroll stub here. So there, but it came out right. Total hours worked was 50. So I'm missing a /n right there. So I get a carriage return. Okay. Then we're going to go here. And this is hourly pay rate. And then we'll put a $sign, then a percent sign, then 0.2f /n. And this one will be rate of pay. Okay. So now I can run it again. Let's see what that looks like. So this is 50. This is 10. Oops, I always do that. I put the first number in my name. Run it again. There we go, Doug. Then 50 and 10. So there you go. There's total hours worked or 50. You can see it down there. And then our rate of pay shows up as $10 with the $sign in there. Looks really nice.
How did you fix the crash again the first time?
Oh, the one up here, I had a 2 point instead of a 0.2.
Thank you.
All right. So then we can do our system.out.printf. Next one's going to be regular hours worked. And it'll just be a percent sign 0.2f /n. Comma here, then reg hours. And then right below it, and we'll put it as OT hours worked. And it'll be a percent sign 0.2f /n. This one will be OT hours. I'm going to run it again. Always checking my work. So I don't want to have to. So if I do 50 here, 10, and you can see there that it shows my regular hours were 40. My overtime hours were 10. Okay. So it's looking pretty good for our outputs. We got our system dot out dot printf. Then we'll have regular pay. And it'll be a $, %, 0.2f/n. And this will be a comma, reg pay. And then our overtime pay. Again, it's a $, then a %, 0.2f/n. And then this one will be OT pay. And I run it again. And I'm going to put 50 here, 10 here. Ouch. I don't know how many times a day I do that. Put 50 in for my name. I'll be 50 cent. Okay. So I did there, 50 hours work, $10 an hour. So there we go. There's my regular pay, overtime pay. I know it's going to be 150. I saw something I didn't like. Need to take some spaces out here. Move this over a little bit too, so it looks nicer. Where was that at? This one here? Hang on, there's something goofy. Oh, it's up in the other one. All right, I'm going to move this over. 3 there, 3 here, and let's see how close I am. That's better. I need 1 more in here, I think. So I can stop that. Put 1 in. Whoops. I don't know if I got it in or not. Well, still 1 short of a full deck there. Output. There you go. Now it all lines up. So you have to mess with it a little bit, right? Okay. Again, we want it to look professional. All right. So now we're down to, we got a regular pay, overtime pay, need our gross pay. And once again, it's $, %, 0.2f/n. And this one will be our argument, will be gross pay. All right, so I like that. And I'm going to put a divider in. About that long, I guess. /n on the end. Don't really need it to be a printf, but be fine. I could have just made it a println, and but that looks nice. So now I've got that. So now I need to start on my taxes. So this one will be system.out.printf. And it'll be my FICA tax. And it's $print dot to F's /n. And this over here becomes FICA tax. And let's see what that looks like. The program's still running over here. All right. There we go. Doug 5010. And I like the way that looks. Here's all my stuff here. And then my FICA tax is down here underneath that divider. So then we're ready for state and federal. Don't get it yet. Percent dot to F/n, comma, state tax, right? And then my federal. Okay, and then our total deductions. Okay. And then we'll put in another divider. And that I can just go get this one. Copy it. Control C. Come down here, Control V. And then I'm going to run it. So that looks all right. I could probably bring those out more, line them up with my payroll stub thing. So maybe I'll put them up. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more there. And I'll be close. And that leaves, let's see. So I got that, I got that. So now I just need my net pay. So my system.out.printf will be net pay, what I get left after everything is gone by the tax man. And then we'll do comma and net pay. Okay. And I think I'll add a line just for, and this one I'll just make a print line of there. And then I'll clean up down below. here. Maybe get rid of that space in there. And then I'm going to go down below my last brace there and put in a comment. Just basically, no code follows for anybody that's a programmer looking at it. So I think it looks pretty clean. I think my indentation's pretty good. Okay. In other words, if I click on this, there's nothing in between those. Okay. Same thing up here. If I click on this one, I can go down and see there's nothing in between. And finally, I can go to this one and I see that that's where I want it. Before I go to put it in my portfolio, I run it again to make sure. Plus that saves it, okay? And I do something else. I might do Mike, try Mike, and Mike worked 20 hours only. And Mike makes the same $10 an hour. So you can see here that Mike worked 20 at $10 an hour. He had regular hours of 20, no overtime hours. His regular pay is $200. So his gross pay is $200. And then you can see his deductions there. Okay. And if we take 5530 from 20 or $2,000, it should come out to 144.70. Now, again, if you don't round, you might at sometimes they won't add up right. You'll be off by a penny, let's say. Okay. Because you don't round. And there's those parts of a cent out there. But I think that looks pretty good. And that's what it would take to write this program. What do you think? Do you have one that's not running? Anybody?
Yeah, I do.
You want to share it with us? You should be. Oh, I got to stop sharing. Okay. Well, you didn't import your scanner. So under package, go down there. And then just say import Java dot, no, import, just space after import. Java dot util dot scanner. Nope, capital S, semicolon. Okay, so that fixes that one. Whoop, go back up. I thought I saw another. Oh, maybe not. Okay, try and run it. Do 10. Because we know what that answer is. Scroll up. There you go. Works perfect. Now, I will say scroll down a little bit. I thought I saw a couple. Go on down. Scroll down a little more. Close that part. Click up on the top. And okay, slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Please name. You got a space on that one. After hours worked in line 52. Right there. Put a space. I think Was there a space? No, not there. Take that one out. Just make sure you got one space there. Backspace.
Yeah, there's just one space there.
Okay. Go down and rate of pay. That one's, you got a space in. Okay. So that one's good. And then scroll down. Going, keep going. On to your print stuff now. Okay, stop. Okay, hours worked. Okay, after on line 97, after the word worked. No, after no. Go back. Oh, yeah, right there. After worked, put a colon there. There you go. And then all the rest look really good. I think that's it, dude.
All right, appreciate it.
Make sure you save and then stop sharing. No, yeah, okay. You just need to click on those two up here.
I'm not sure what I did wrong, but I'm getting a negative value for net pay.
Okay, hang on a second. You guys are seeing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to tell you now? Jeez. No, I forgot. Yeah, just make sure. Again, you want it to read nice. If you have space, if you don't have spaces, then it's going to be all jammed together, right? So make sure when you do it, and make sure your spelling's correct and things like that. So that it looks professional. Nobody wants to buy it from you if, in fact, you. Who said they had a negative number? You bring yours up next.
That was me. I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Let's see. Share screen. Oh,
Okay. So let us see here. Ooh, how many hours did you work? 40, 10. Wow. You made a gross pay of, that's not right. Your if statement, close the bottom part, click up in the top part and close that part. All right, now go up. Stop. Okay, so if hours worked is less than standard hours, that's okay. Regular hours is equal to hours worked, that's right. Else, regular hours are equal to standard hours, that's fine. Overtime hours are equal to hours worked minus regular hours, okay. Let's go up farther. I want to see your, yeah, keep going. Okay. So 1.5 is right. Oh, your FICA should be 0.0765. There you go. Now run it. Let's see what you get. Go ahead and run it. We can't see it, but
oh, it's running right now.
yeah, just shrink your upper. There you go. Stop.
Okay.
What numbers did you put in?
40 and 10.
And how can you get a gross pay of $800? Scroll up. No, in the pay stub, I want to, or expand that so we can see the bottom.
In the bottom.
There's a line there.
Right.
Put your mouse there and there. All right. So now total hours, you got a problem there. You got a spelling error. Hourly rate is that regular hours
The
worked.
overtime pay. Oh,
There is, huh? Yeah, you're not.
overtime pay.
Oh, you only put in 40 hours, not 50. But how are you getting this regular pay and overtime pay? You're getting both. Close the bottom. Let us see now. Okay, so go on up so we can see again. Okay, so regular hours. Oh, I know what you did. Under overtime pay, you didn't replace that regular pay. Right there, right down, right there.
Oh,
That should say OT pay. No, OT pay. No. Okay, there's that. Now run it and let's see what you get. Because you should get put in 50 hours you worked. $10. And that is exactly right. $397.92.
mhm.
Okay, now we need to fix one thing though. Scroll up, down, 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 down to your printouts. Right there. Okay, stop. On the first one, line 96.
Oh, yes.
Okay, go over. You need a /n on the end of payroll stub. Right before the double. Keep going. Keep going. Right there, /n. And then you misspelled hours in the next one down in 97. Okay, save it,
Okay.
and then you can stop sharing.
Okay.
I think you're okay. It was pretty good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, that's my song and dance for this week. I'm going to stop recording.